It's the funny guy, Rocky Nichols, back live streaming again. Really winging it today. Don't fully know how this live stream stuff works. And today is June 27, 2022. Nearly freezing cold here in the great state of Michigan. Don't know what's going on. Global warming has not hit yet. Roasted eel. Done this a number of times before. I'm on the fence whether I like it or not. First thing I do like, though, is these cool boat shaped cans. I'm a can collector. Quite often I keep the empty cans, washing them out, use them for various little scientific experiments or funny things to do in the refrigerator. These are really cool, though. I don't like the fact that this is a paper label. I like when they're really printed with paint or whatever, so it's real colorful. But this makes it cleaner anyways when you're done. Roasted eel. Eels. Snakes with fins. They are pretty despicable for most people. Most people don't like snakes. And then to think of a swimming snake and then actually eating one, well, it don't bother me. Either way, I've been around snakes and eels most of my life. Here in Michigan, we have what's called lamprey eels. They're the really bad ones. They bite onto the side of the fish and swim along with them and take a chunk out, so these are much more tame. They grow these things in China by the cajillions, and then they smoke them most of the time and eat them that way. There's not much meat on them. Anyhow, we'll see how this goes. My new substrate, fried pork rinds. They really don't add much flavor, so they're very neutral. A lot of crunch, so if you run into bones or any extra parts in these cans, it does a good job of covering it up. Now, the usual precautions: paper bag, throw it away, or a plastic bag, paper towels to clean up. One disappointment here. When I first started doing these cans were the old-fashioned can opener type. Now they've got the quick pop tops, which is convenient for everybody, and I do like that most of the time. But I'm an old-fashioned guy. I like to go back to the way things were. I wish we could still have sardine cans with that twisty key thing that went around the outside and popped the top off and was really dangerous. Just kind of like that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm going to buck the system today, and I'm going to open this with a traditional can opener, regardless of the pull top. Take that. You may have beat me here. As you can see, the ring around the lid is too deep for the little cutty wheel to reach down in there. Ah, foiled. All right. Let me see if there's anything on here that we need to review. Nothing really. Store in a cool, dry place. Product of China. No surprise there. Ingredients: eel, in parentheses, fish, corn oil. Now usually they have soybean oil or olive oil or sunflower seed oil. Corn oil is a little bit more rare. Anyways, corn oil, water, sugar, yeah, because these things are always sweet, salt, soy sauce, flavor enhancer, monosodium glutamate, starch, and chili. All right, so there should be a little bit of a spice in that. I guess that's what that word in Chinese means. That must be the characters for spice, because it doesn't indicate it anywhere else. Let's have a go. Oh, now that's not a good sign. By the way, my smell is coming back. It's been 2 years or more since COVID. I can smell something in it, but it doesn't smell really bad. The bad thing is, though, there was no hiss in or out. Certainly you don't want stuff spewing out when you crack this open, because that means the bacteria that were in there have been active and decomposing the fish. But usually you want to hear a little bit of hiss or something, but this was really clean open. Further investigation is required. You should have these things on a stable platform when you do this, but I'm trying to just do this with a camera. You don't want that thing to go flinging out into space or into your room and shooting all kinds of crazy particles. Hey, now, let's dispose of that. Remember, boys and girls, do not lick the lid. There. Well, being out in the sun today really adds some sparkle to this stuff. Those are really good looking. Usually I open these cans and they look all dried out and burnt. It does smell like eel. Not terrible, but wouldn't want to wear it for cologne, that's for sure. These aren't so bad as far as, hey, we're blowing away here. Yeah. I brought that up. See you. Let me get myself together. All right. Where was I? Yeah, these are not so messy. Just like that. They're pretty well contained. It's dripping a little stuff off there, but it's not the really bad smelling oil. It's usually sugary sauce when it comes to smoked eels. And as typical with many canned creatures, there's the skeletal remains quite evident there. High in calcium, these things. That is a premium pork rind right there. Really good boat-like trough for well, maybe not for that one. We'll throw this one. Wow, that's like the perfect shape right there. Even aesthetically pleasing as those two go together. Sort of. All right, give it a shot. That combination is the best smoked eel from a can I've ever had. Right there. Boat-shaped fried pork rind combined with one very well selected smoked eel fillet. Not overly sweet, a little hint of spice. It's the usual plastic-like toughness of smoked eel. I think they're a really dry fish to begin with. If you've ever picked one up, they're pretty firm. They're like a garden hose that wiggles. And then when you go to smoke them, smoking always dries things out as well. Nothing overpowering as far as taste. And again, eels, they really are tasteless. That's why you smoke them, or you have to add some kind of sauce. And I don't think anybody eats eels plain. But the overall experience here is pleasant. Definitely a bit salty, but not overwhelming. Oh, that must have been some kind of a gargantuan eel there, because I've never seen that much flesh on any one of these fillets before. They must be growing them in Texas now. Well, let me select it. By the way, here's my selection of substrates. Let's slap that one on there. Oh, that really is a large. That's like a moray there. I think typically though these type of eels are actually raised in fresh water. That one is not as aesthetically pleasing. It's not fitting onto the pork rind as well, but there is one massive chunk of eel flesh right there. This should give me the best experience of all, so let's give it a shot. Wow, way better. Not that the other one was bad, but I mean, this was noticeably better. Okay, so lesson learned there. The thicker the piece of eel that you can acquire, the much more intense the taste of whatever the meat is can be experienced. Otherwise, you got most of the skin that probably had some kind of a hint of flavor there. All right, well, like this piece here now, the end piece of it is mostly the skin. Give it a comparison now. Yep, definitely different. The skin part, you can taste that there's a lot more fat, even though eels have very little fat. I can definitely detect it in the thinner part of the skin there. So I'm gonna leave it at that. There's actually this is a pretty generous can of eels here, and I think I paid maybe between $2 and $3 for this. Of course, now with inflation and food shortage and all that kind of stuff, these are probably up another $1 a can, or maybe they're having a day-old sale because these things were stuck on the freighter ships for 2.5 years. Who knows? It's a different world we live in today. But as it is, roasted eel from the can. Can't give you the brand here because I don't read Chinese. But I think if you find these made in these boat-shaped cans, regardless of what it says on the label, they are probably coming from the very same source. Give it a try. Thumbs up for me. Thanks for watching.